Guys, in this video, I'm going to explain why it is a complete scam to go buy in-market data. Please don't go buy in-market data. I'm not talking about identity resolution. Identity resolution makes sense. They have brand awareness. They know who you are because they've been on your website. You're sending them follow-up emails. In-market data is this thing that companies, I know AdLabs is doing it right now, where basically they say, hey, these are people that were searching for something on Google, and now you can advertise to them. And most of the time, you get a hash file that you upload into the account and you run ads to it. Guys, this is not new. There was a guy who was scamming people named Joshua Harris back in 2017, 2018, who was doing the same exact thing, charging $5,000. You know, they always want this huge fee for the data buy-in. And people would bring us this in-market data, people who are doing the same thing, and they would say, hey, I want to run ads to this list that I spent $5,000 on. Okay. Every single time I split test it, just using Facebook or Google's natural, audiences versus the data that they had. Every single time I beat it with just the native audience. Why? Well, if you think about it, Google and Facebook already know who these people are searching for things. I mean, you can't fart without Google or Facebook showing you ads, something to do with your fart. I've literally been talking to my wife like, hey, I need a new razor. And within like an hour, there's razors showing up in my Facebook. They have more data than you and I could ever even fathom. And they have more data than your in-market data. I promise you, you're not getting every person who ever searched it. You're getting a percentage. Just logically think it through. It's impossible for them to get this directly from Google. It would have to be through sites that they've clicked into or landing pages that they've clicked into. It is not just from the search. There's a guy who started this technology. His name was like Tony something down in Florida. I know how the whole thing works. So with that in mind, even if it was via a search, they have more data than you could ever even fathom. So when you say to Facebook or Google, hey, I want you to run ads using this list, you know what you just did? You bottlenecked them. You said, hey, I know you've got millions of people who meet the right criteria for my product, but I don't know who they are. Only you do. So I just want you to run it to this list of 1,000 people. That makes no sense. That's dumb. So then what these software companies do to kind of mitigate this is they say, well, you take this and you create a lookalike audience. Well, that's dumb too. Why wouldn't I just run it to the native audience and then create a lookalike audience for my audience from people who clicked in? I don't need to pay you money. It's a scam. They're selling you snake oil. It just, you might say, yeah, well, I tried it and it worked. Yeah, but you could also just not pay them money, run Facebook and Google ads, and it will work. So it just blows my mind, the stupidity that it is out there right now. And it's a way for people to try to sell this thing. I promise you, anyone who wants to try to compete, bring me a campaign that you're using in-market data for and say, hey, you can run a parallel account in my campaign. And I could kick your butt with it just using Google or Facebook's natural data because they have more data than any of us. Anyways, sorry for this little rant. Hopefully that made sense for you.